This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
We start with breaking news out of West St. Louis County. Crews are trying to free a worker trapped following a trench collapse. It happened on Hillcrest Boulevard in Winchester near Baldwin. The fire department tells us workers were digging along the side of a home when this trench collapse happened. The lower part of the worker's body became trapped, and crews are hoping to free him soon.
Tonight, a mom is suing a child care center in North St. Louis County. She says her daughter and son, who has autism, were injured under their care. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Ann Allred in for Kelly Jackson. This lawsuit is accusing the daycare center on Chambers Road of negligence and abuse. Our Justina Cornell spoke to the attorney representing this family. She is in studio. Justina.
Well, Mike and Ann, the Finney law firm is representing Diana Harold Page along with her 4-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter. Back in March, Page left her 2 kids at the facility called A Brighter Future Child Care and Development Center. Now, when she picked them up, she noticed her son, who has autism and is nonverbal, had facial scratches and a bump on his forehead. She demanded to see footage of what happened and alerted authorities. Now, some of the allegations say caregivers hit the children with paint-stirring sticks, dragged them on the ground, and caused the boy to hit his head on a cot. The state's department confirmed through surveillance footage the potential safety failures. In that same report, the daycare's director admits the center is understaffed. Now, Chris Finney, representing the family, says it's a problem they've been seeing more often since the pandemic.
And we ran into places that were getting mostly understaffed. They didn't have enough staff to handle what they needed. And especially when it comes to kids with specialized learning needs, things like that, it can get very, very tricky very, very quickly if you don't stay up on the training and your selection of staff.
Now, I did reach out to the center and their attorney. We haven't heard back yet. The lawsuit is looking for the facility to accept responsibility and pay for unspecified damages.
Now to some developing news out of Phelps County, Missouri. A man is behind bars after a shooting inside a Rolla pharmacy. This happened this morning. Police say the man walked into the Sinks pharmacy and demanded drugs. Workers say he pulled out an AR-style rifle, fired shots, and ran off with narcotics. One worker was hit in the leg and is now in the hospital. The suspect led police on a chase through town, firing the gun in the air before he was arrested. We're not naming the suspect yet because he has not officially been charged.
Mayor Tashara Jones' guaranteed basic income program is facing a new court challenge. Attorneys for the Holy Joe Society argue the $500 monthly benefit for public and charter school parents discriminates against families who send their kids to religious schools. The lawsuit claims the city charter and state constitution require the government to only give out public funds when the city gets something in exchange.
They didn't get anything for it. Under the city's charter, we can only give money to people who give something for it. So if there's a company that's retained on a contract basis to re-asphalt the street, they get paid. They put down the asphalt, they get the money. A contract always has 2 sides. These people are just getting a gift.
The lawsuit asks the judge to stop the pilot program, which is already underway. A select number of families are receiving $500 a month for 18 months. The city has until June 28th to respond in court. The mayor's office policy is to not comment on pending litigation.
Time now for that weather forecast. The temperature's getting hotter as we head into the weekend.
Let's check in with Jim Castillo, and all anyone can talk about is, will there be a cool front? Will we get relief? And do we see any in sight?
You know, there is a cold front coming, and you're right. You might as well call it a cool front, and it's not going to give us any relief as we get into early Sunday, except for a chance of rain. But the 90s are going to stay with us, and so is the humidity. So it's really a wind shift line. It gives enough lift to give us a chance of rain and thunder late Saturday night into early Sunday. But it's 90 now. 91 was a high. Feels like 91 right in St. Louis. And other area temperatures, you know, a few of us dropped into the 80s. Chesterfield at 86, and then we also have about 84 for Sullivan. Salem, Illinois, 92. Flora, you're at about 91. And that real field temperature in the mid-90s around the metro. So the temperatures are going to remain high. We know that. And that humidity stays with us. That heat actually builds to near triple digits for Friday and Saturday. And then we'll talk a little bit more about those rain chances over the weekend in just a few minutes.
Punching his ticket to Paris. Tyler Downs, the 20-year-old diver from Baldwin, just made Team USA.
5 on your side's Megan Kernan had a one-on-one interview with Downs and joins us live in Clayton. That's where he grew up and learned to dive.
Anna and Mike, Baldwin's very own Tyler Downs made his second Olympic team last night. This is where it all started for him, training here at the Shaw Park Pool in Clayton. At the U.S. Olympics in Knoxville last night, Tyler Downs and Greg Duncan came in first in the men's synchronized 3-meter springboard. This will be the second Olympics for Downs at age 20, while Duncan is a first-time Olympian. The divers have the day off today before the week-long trials shift to individual events. Downs will be competing in the men's individual 3-meter springboard prelim on Friday. We got to catch up with Downs earlier today about what this win means for him.
It's been crazy. I mean, I feel like every experience is different. I mean, back in 2020 when I qualified for Tokyo at 17, that was just crazy because it was like, wasn't my expectation. But celebrating this is a lot different because I've had that experience before. So I feel like I can really learn from the journey.
Downs tells me he feels really good about his competition on Friday. His plan is to go in with no expectations, stay composed, and trust his training. Tonight at 6, we'll hear from those at the pool who have been truly inspired by Downs. Live in Clayton, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
And of course, you can watch the games here on 5 on your side starting July 26th. And for more on the Olympics, just text the word Paris to 314-425-5355.
The city of Delwood is celebrating Juneteenth in a big way this year. A parade ended at the Recreation Center Festival, where the party is still going on.
And that's where we find our Tracy Hinson. Tracy.
Mike and Ann, so the first thing you're going to see when you walk into the recreation center is the fabulous roller rink behind me, and they have just been putting on a show. There's so much talent here in Delwood. Now, they are setting up for their big show tonight with the Dirty Mugs, but they are going to have a roller skating performance during that concert. Now, you can head inside to the much-needed AC, where there are some learning opportunities as well. So after the parade and stops at food and shopping, festival goers looking to cool off were welcomed inside. Under the shade of the rec center, the ACLU is hosting a free expungement clinic through 6:30 tonight. There is also a living history and banner display. That's where we met an actress playing Harriet Robinson Scott, wife of Dred Scott, whose failed court decision challenged for freedom spurred on the Civil War.
It was when Gordon Granger came into Texas to remind people that we had already been free. In fact, Abraham Lincoln had freed us 2.5 years before we started celebrating Juneteenth.
And this celebration here will end with fireworks. Now, there's no exact time for those fireworks. The information is that it'll start off right at the end of the Dirty Mugs concert. So come for the concert, stay for the fireworks. Live in Delwood, I'm Tracy Hinson, 5 on your side.
A major deal between two world leaders. What's in the new pact between Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin?
Fighting for health equity, the hurdles black people are facing when it comes to health care.
Can you get a sunburn on a cloudy day? We verify.